Do. Thinking about it still. Check out all our podcasts on audioentropy.com. Channels and yeah, start watching all our podcasts on audioentropy. Okay, yeah, we're good. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. We're both tired for different reasons.
Yep.
You got enough sleep, but just woke up, and I didn't. But I've been
Well, I
awake
just
for a
woke up. I
while.
didn't necessarily get enough sleep,
Well, okay.
so we're both running on like kind of half empty at this point.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's my normal state of being, so whatever. Um, but you wanted to do an individual scene with your pizza party character, so that's what we're doing.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, so you talked about wanting to do a scene where Timmy is kind of looking to his like church for religious guidance, basically, right?
Yeah, because he's been through some shit over his first month at this job
He really has. It's been a rough time. He's been lost in a mind labyrinth and watched a superhero get murdered.
and watched his boss get murdered and then kind of went through time to unmurder him. And
Yes, yeah,
he had to break into the capital of the city.
yeah,
I guess is technically a criminal now, but it's okay.
yeah. The mayor seemed okay. I should probably stop calling her the mayor since I didn't, or just make her name the mayor instead of coming up with a dumb bullshit fantasy name for her office.
I mean, one or the other, really.
Yeah, yeah. But so the suggestion I was gonna have, and if you wanna, not do it this way, that's fine. But to kind of try and ground it in the events that have happened so far, since Zazazir was critically injured and Timmy managed to stabilize him at the end of our last session, I thought a good way to kind of segue into this is that Zazazir would need, more medical treatment. And we've
So Timmy would take him to the local Temple of Health.
Right, we talked about how the hospitals, like the Church of Health, basically operates all the hospitals in Nethria.
Yeah.
And the way I was thinking of it is that how like hospitals have like the little tiny chapels off to the side for people.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking that maybe they have a version of that Timmy can go to pray to after.
It's probably about the same, but because they're also a temple, it's probably a bit bigger.
Right, it's probably more than just like a tiny office that someone put some candles in or whatever. I've never actually been in one of those, so I don't know what they look like. But I've seen the signs in the doors. But yeah, so does that work for you?
That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Timmy either takes Zazir, maybe some people come with him to get him transported, and then once he's squared away, Timmy kind of walks off to the side into the chapel area of the hospital, and there's probably a few like pews in here, and there's probably a statue of the goddess Health sort of up at an altar at the front.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, this was your idea for a scene, so I'll let you kind of lead us here for a bit
All
at
right.
least.
So, I figure Timmy walks in, probably makes a donation at the thing toward the front because there's probably a place to make some donations.
Yeah, there's probably just a little like lockbox with like
Yeah.
a slot in it for coins.
Lights a candle or two. Makes a sign of the Red Cross.
Okay.
And I think he just is there anyone else inside this place at the time, or is Timmy just kind of by himself?
Let's say he's by himself.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So I guess he walks down and kneels and says, hi, Lady Health. It's Timmy Kickflips. It's me again. Listen, I need a little help here. It has been one heck of a month for me. I wound up trapped in a hell maze built around my own insecurities and hangups and those of my friends. I watched a superhero die. That was really weird. Turned out he was real. Kind of came out of left field. Um, I had to help my friends break into the capital of the city because they had been wrongly marked for crimes they didn't do. And then my boss got murdered almost, but time shenanigans. So that was a little messed up. And also, I mean, heck, the first day at the job, we found a woman chained inside a mountain. And I mean, we freed her and healed her and freed her with my bare hands, humble brag, and also my bare hands, pun time. But I just, I'm not sure if I'm really should be doing this. I didn't want to just be part of my family's whole thing because I'm not really cut out for the spotlight. And now I got this job because I figured I could help Jet because she's a friend of mine and honestly seems like someone who could use some help more often than not. And it's been kind of a nightmare. And I try to put other people before myself as you've told me to since I was very young, and it's getting hard at this point. I don't know how much longer I can take this job because like I'm at the edge, and if I snap, like what happens when a bugbear loses his cool, bad things happen. Really bad things happen. And I need either to know what I should be doing or just at least the strength to keep doing this for as long as I'm supposed to be doing it. I don't even have anything really specific to ask. I need something. Help me out here.
Okay. Trying to think. I'm trying to think if this is something that should even be a role or if it should just purely be character moment. Because also the idea of like, oh, roll some stat to see if God pays attention to you sounds weird.
Yeah, that does seem like a weird.
That doesn't seem like how it should work.
No, I mean, I guess because I guess it's kind of up to luck, but
right. But yeah, that doesn't.
But I mean, also these religious figures in this world are just they're just kind of NPCs. So I mean,
sure, yeah. Well, I think initially you don't have any kind of response. I mean, Timmy's a religious person; he's prayed plenty, and you don't necessarily.
You don't always hear back.
You don't hear a voice in your head, You might have a feeling. And let me ask you this, for the sake of like developing this character moment, what is the feeling that Timmy has as he makes this prayer?
I think going into it, it's desperation.
Mm.
And I think it kind of. I feel like getting into this temple and sort of venting kind of calms him down a bit, but he doesn't feel desperate, but he still feels really unsure of basically anything. Like, kind of like I've been saying, Timmy grew up in a very religious home, and like his faith and his loyalty to the Lady Health is been a lot of his life, and he has been very sure in his faith for basically all growing up until adulthood, because I think we said he's just turned like 18, like he's only very recently become an adult, and I would say for his entire childhood he's been one of those people that has been very, very sure that he knows what his whole deal is about and what his faith is about, and that everything's going to be fine so long as he just keeps following the good book of health,
Right.
And then he gets out into he grew up in a famous family, pampered home, and he gets out into the real world, and it is kicking his ass, and he has no idea how to proceed, and he's just kind of desperate for a straight answer here, and is kind of learning that he's not going to get one.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, this would sort of be the first, like, crisis that Timmy has really had in his life.
Yeah, basically. I mean, there was that thing that happened at the camp when he was 10, but like that more or less worked out.
Sure,
'Cause
and
of
that wasn't like
Ianthias,
a
so
crisis of, like, faith or, like, not knowing what to do. That was just a bad thing that happened.
yeah. So this is basically Timmy has been kind of just ignorant for most of his life, and this is the first time that like just sort of reality is hitting him, and he doesn't know how to handle it, basically.
Okay. Well, I think making that prayer, there's probably a long stretch of just silence after that. And does Timmy feel like he is, without me like declaring by GM fiat, oh, you have a divine voice in your head saying this? Does Timmy feel any like impression from his goddess, like while he's sitting and meditating on these thoughts?
I think he usually does.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, how much of that is real and how much of that is just sort of the placebo effect of his faith is
Right.
who knows. But he usually feels something
Sure.
when he's praying. That's why he keeps doing it.
Definitely, yeah. I'm just asking,
Yeah.
like, what is that he's feeling this time?
Um, hmm.
Yeah, turn it around on you.
Yeah. Jeez. I guess just kind of reassurance,
Okay.
but not. It's weird. He feels a bit. It's kind of telling him that like it's all going to be okay, and that he's doing the right thing. But like for kind of the first time in a while, he's not entirely buying it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I would say, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think he is sitting in here with those feelings of like kind of doubt and frustration, probably for a pretty long time. And this, like I said, there's sort of an altar at the front of this chapel area with a statue of health.
Yeah. I think he just kind of keeps praying for a while during that time,
Yeah.
and he kind of just I guess kind of rambles and goes into detail, like just kind of the things you think about when you're praying
Right. Yeah.
for a while.
Um,
And I think after all he just wraps it up and just kind of says, "Well, thank you for your time," and starts to stand up.
Okay. So this statue is like a gray stone relief of her in sort of robes and holding some kind of slate or something in her hand. And as he gets up to leave, the fabric of that robe, even though it's made of stone, starts to ruffle. And the gray of the fabric starts to turn white, and the skin of the statue like turns to a skin tone, and it starts to move. And she
Timmy is scared shitless by this. This has never happened before.
right, no, it definitely has not happened before. And all of a sudden it sort of like leaps to life, this sort of huge statue of health, and she starts to walk just with a lot of purpose, like not even really paying attention to Timmy, towards the door. And then she sort of stops and looks down, and she swears under her breath, it's like, I thought we updated these fucking statues. And she puts a hand to her head, and she's silent for just a second. She goes, yeah, hey, Fashion? Yeah, hey, it's your sister. How you doing? Yeah, it's Health. Yeah, I guess we missed one of the statues. It's still got these stupid old robes on it. Can you give me a hand here? I'm fucking barefoot too. All right, yeah, thanks. And she
And now his fear has switched to absolute confusion.
and she starts to glow, and the robes are replaced with a more like sensible like dress. It looks very formal, but also very like business-like, almost like a fantasy version of like a suit jacket and skirt. and she just has some sensible shoes on, and
All right.
as opposed to just being this barefoot like classical Roman goddess, now she looks more like a business lady.
Okay, I'm into it. Yep.
Yeah, and she is just heading for the door. Does Timmy do anything?
Uh, I think it was and just kind of I guess kind of meekly just goes, "Oh, hi."
Oh yeah, hey. Thanks for the prayers. I gotta take care of something, and she just kind of like does not break her stride as she like turns her head back to talk to you and just keeps heading towards the door.
Wait.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. Sorry, what? I'm kind of in a hurry here.
Oh, I, I guess I just well I've just kind of been here kind of asking for your guidance. I just sorry, name's Timmy. Timmy Kickflips. Big fan, big fan of the whole of your whole jam, your whole deal. Look,
Sorry,
I
hold
just
on.
need.
What time is it? And she kind of puts a hand up, and there's sort of the ceiling of the chapel kind of like warps around, so a hole opens up in it, and she looks up at the sun. She's like, "All right, I got about 5 minutes. That's fine." Yeah, and she just kind of like pinches her fingers together, and the hole seals up. She's like, "Yeah, what can I do for you, Timmy?"
Well, I guess I'm just trying to figure out if I should stay with this job that I'm in. I got involved in working at Zazazir's Pizza to kind of help some friends, and some friends who I feel kind of need the help. But it's been kind of a nightmare. I wound up in a hell labyrinth, that was a world composed of our hang-ups and fears, and that was a little messed up. I had to break into the capital of the city to deliver a pizza while we were being chased by the local militia, who were actually really ineffective, it turns out. We watched a superhero get murdered.
Wait,
That
hold on.
happened.
You were sitting here praying, right? Hold on. I can.
Yeah.
She kind of holds up a hand, and she sort of looks off in a random direction, and just her gaze kind of follows some kind of imaginary thing that you can't see, and she's sort of like almost tracing some line across the ceiling with her eyes, and just sort of like looking left and right. And finally, her vision settles back on you. She's like, "Oh, yeah, Timmy, hi, okay, yeah, yeah, that sounds difficult, but you know, I'm sure you can figure it out. You're a smart kid, right?"
Well, actually, I'm not sure about that, but um, but yeah, I guess there was one other thing I wanted to ask you. So I mentioned that on the first day we found this woman chained to the inside of a mountain.
Roll notice for me.
Sure. I need to open up the dice.
Okay.
Da. Oh, that is a -1.
That's with your bonus.
That is with my bonus.
All right, you don't notice anything. Unless
Okay.
you want to try to notice something. Invoke something to try and notice it, but otherwise you just don't notice anything.
Can I spend a fate point?
Yeah, I mean, what would you invoke?
I guess I would invoke Worshipper of the Goddess Health, because like I'm going to be really trying to pay attention to what the hell's going on here.
Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah, you are face to face with the goddess you worship. That makes sense. You're gonna want to re-roll.
That's a 1.
God.
Yeah. Timmy is not observant.
Listen,
he's not an observant boy.
I think he's kind of gobsmacked, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Godsmacked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't notice anything.
Okay. So we found this lady chained to the inside of the mountain, and Jet has this inkling that she might actually be evil, but we couldn't find anything with regards to that. And she seems really nice, but also, like, I feel like I don't know where else this feeling she has would be coming from if it wasn't the case. So I'm and also, I mean, like, she gave us the story about the mob, but also we did find her chained to the heart of a mountain. So that's
I, sorry,
maybe.
how did you find her?
Oh, so we were making a delivery and we took a shortcut through the mines because they were digging a tunnel through the center of the mountain down in the Orange District, I believe it was.
Right, yes, uh-huh.
And yes, and we found her half drowned, chained to a wall, deep within a cave. And we broke the chains, healed her up. She was real bruised up and in a bad way.
Right, but you walked into the mines and you found her.
Well, I mean, we were trying to cut through the mines to get
Right,
somewhere,
sure.
and then I got lost in the mine, and we found her deep at the end of one of the tunnels.
Okay. You said she's living with your friend Jet?
Yes, ma'am.
And she kind of like takes out a pen, and the slate that the statue had is actually a clipboard now with some paper on it. What's her address?
I think Timmy just kind of gives her the address.
Okay, yeah, she just sort of scribbles it down. It's like, well, I really don't have a whole lot more time, Timmy. I've got some things I have to take care of, but you're doing great. Keep at it. I believe in you. Keep praying. Bye. And she goes to leave.
Can I ask real quick, what is it you're in such a hurry to do?
Well, Timmy, I'm a goddess, but I am basically the administrator of the entire hospital system in Nethria. I have a very full day, basically every single day.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to waste your time.
No, it didn't waste any time, Timmy. You're doing exactly what you ought to be doing. And she just strolls at a very brisk pace out of the chapel.
Huh. Well, that happened. So I think I guess Timmy's gonna take some comfort from that.
Okay.
In a weird way, but he's gonna get. It's weird because, like, on the one hand, yes, his chosen goddess told him that he's doing the right thing,
Right, but it wasn't
but
exactly.
but also she didn't really seem to be paying much attention.
Right.
So he's kind of just more confused than he was before. Like,
Right,
I don't
yeah.
think he really has any idea what the fuck is going
Kind
on.
of a mixed bag.
Yeah. I guess since he's still here, I guess he's gonna go check and see if Zazazir's doing all right.
Okay, yeah. You head out of the chapel, and you can see Health like striding down the halls, and you can hear kind of the clacking of her heels, and every person working here is like makes a beeline to just get out of her way. A few of the more faithful people are like prostrating themselves, but also don't even like get close to bowing in a way that would like slow her down. And you head down a hall, and she quickly like rounds a corner and you don't see her anymore. But as you're heading towards Zazazir's room, you continue to hear those clacking of heels. And once you sort of get up to, let's say, like the third floor where Zazazir is, you actually find that his door is locked. And you look in the window, and he is asleep, and Health is actually in there inspecting his chart. And she is talking to his doctor, but you can't hear what they're saying through the door.
I guess he puts his ear up against the door to see if he can hear anything.
What would that be? Would that be notice? Or would that be investigate, maybe?
Well, for me, they're the same bonus, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that is a 4. Finally, a good roll.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's very muffled, and you can only kind of get a little bit of it. But she's asking questions about what happened and how much do you think you guys explained to the doctors when you brought Zazazir in here?
So something I've kind of been leaning toward, and I think at the end of this, when I'm changing some of my aspects around, I think I'm going to try and just roll this into an actual aspect. But I've kind of been leaning toward the idea that Timmy's just kind of brutally honest.
Yeah, I like the idea that Timmy has no patience for dramatic irony, so he's just gonna make sure everybody knows everything at all times.
Basically, like it's yeah, it's I've actually been thinking about it. Like we've been talking about like switching around high concept and trouble, and I was thinking about when we talked about changing my high concept, I was thinking about taking my trouble of terrified of conflict and just rolling it into like putting it in the high concept and just renaming Timmy like pacifist bugbear healer. And changing my trouble to just honest to a fault.
Okay,
and
yeah.
And but yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go with. I would say he just.
So yeah, you laid out everything. He was attacked. You went back in time to save him. All that stuff.
Yeah, there was a weird shapeshifter. It was just kind of
yeah,
whole steez.
So the doctor is conveying these details to Health, and she is saying, I'm trying to think what did she say? Sorry, give me a sec here. This is the hard part about doing this. You gotta think. You don't have time to, like, plan any dialogue, because I don't know what you're gonna do.
It's fine.
Right. So she is clearly very concerned with everything this doctor is explaining to her. And you can hear the doctor saying that they are working to get him healed up as much as possible so that they can question him. But even though the physical injury has been cured, there is some kind of hex that is preventing his body from recovering internally. And so he is still like in a very bad shape despite the healing that you did on him. And
oh jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, like physically his body is fine, but there is some kind of magical element to his injuries also. And Health mentions something. I'm trying to think of how much you'd tell this doctor too. Health mentioned something about how they can't have another. What does she call it? They can't have a situation like they had before. And that if, this has been like the 5th victim of this killer, and if they don't get it sorted out quick, there's going to be a whole lot more than 5 victims. And she, the doctor basically says, well, we're all praying to our goddesses to help us, and she says, well, I have a lead that might help out on getting this situation taken care of.
All right. I think it. So our I think at this point Timmy is kind of. Should I just assume that's all I'm going to get out of that?
I would say so, yeah. Like I said, so, okay. She's not going to just, like, exposit to this random doctor all that much.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was going to say that feels like a natural point for Timmy to stop listening. Mm-hmm. But also, like, as a player, I don't want to cut myself short.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so, okay. So I guess he kind of pulls his ear away from the door, and I guess heads home.
Okay, as you head down the hall to leave, the door clicks and Health walks out. She goes, "Hey, Timmy!"
Yes, Lady Health.
You're in a pretty tough position right now. Things are gonna be alright, but I need good people like you to continue being good. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
All right. I understand that you've been having a hard time lately. It, depending on how the next few weeks go, everybody is going to be having a much harder time than what you've had so far. So keep your chin up, buddy.
I think that last line kind of shakes him a bit. Uh, all right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. She just heads off down the other way in the hall.
Um, is is he okay to go in to see Zazazir now? Like, is the door still locked? Or
Yeah, you can go in and see him.
okay. I assume the doctor's there.
Yeah, the doctor's there.
Okay. Doctor, how's how's he holding up?
Well, you were one of the ones that brought him in, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, most of his physical wounds have stabilized. You did an excellent job providing magical first aid on the scene. I, our paramedics couldn't have done better.
Well, thank you.
Uh, but unfortunately, there is some deeper problems here. Whatever this assailant did was more than just attack him with a knife, and we're currently researching some kind of counterspell or charm that we can apply to fix whatever magical damage he's done to him, but it's difficult to determine exactly what to do.
Have Have you seen anything like this? Like
Well,
like like a magic wound thing?
well, it's not completely unheard of. There are certainly uh, assailants that have used magic to damage people on a different phase of their person than their physical body, but it's rare, and this specific type of damage is not something I've seen before, other than in the other incidents of, I assume, the same person who has been attacking people and leaving messages in their blood.
Oh, oh, geez. Like when? Who?
I thought it was all over the news. Have you not been? Yeah, there's been a.
I spent 2 weeks in a hell dimension, and
Oh,
then yeah, it.
well.
Long story short,
Oh,
just 2 weeks in a hell dimension. I've kind of been out of the loop.
fair enough. And he's very like, that makes no fucking sense, but also not that interested. I got more important things to worry about. He's like, yeah, there's been a serial killer on the loose in Nethria, and I believe that's the exact person you encountered when you saved your employer's life here. It seems like it fits the exact same method. We haven't had a victim survive those attacks yet, so the authorities are certainly hoping that if we can help him recover, that he might be able to give us some more information.
All right. Well, I'm one of his employees out at his pizza shop in the Yellow District. If anything changes with him, please let us know.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, and I guess Timmy's gonna go ahead and leave because he's not gonna keep bugging this fucking doctor.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that pretty much does it for what you wanted, right? Or do you have anything else you
Yeah,
want to
I
hit?
think that that did not go in the direction I expected it to, but yeah,
Right.
I think that pretty much I think that does it.
Alrighty.
Um, so I guess the other thing I'm going to check is like so the changes to my character sheet that I mentioned are
Yeah.
do you think that would work?
That
I'm
sounds good to me.
should I put something other than healer because I know you wanted me to go with like because I know with these things you try to make them like not super broad but like
Right.
pacifist healer does feel kind of generic. I mean bugbear kind of mixes it up but
Yeah,
um
I think that works at least for now.
okay,
We can always, tweak it more as we continue on in the game.
sure, okay.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, well, that'll do it for this mini session then.
Woo!
Turning the stream off.
Yeah.